heart reaching, knowledge leaking, seeds sowing, harvest reaping, man of meager means. I have yet to leave, I'm still breathing. To quit, I have no reason. I mean, I'm asleep, but I be trying to live my dreams. I cannot even act if it's all easy. Either you gon' do it or you don't. Really, it ain't no in between. Baby, you can ask the sun. It's an everyday thing. Consistency in your routine is how you bring reality. Working like a slave, that's how I made this masterpiece. Living like a god, I lay at night, I rest in peace. They remember me, but I am not Haram beef.
mypdfbooks.com. That's books with a Z. Peace.
Peace, man. How y'all feeling, man?
Great. Sheik. How are you?
No real. Man,
Doing great.
Feeling good. I just made a trip down here, drove my mom down to Pontiac. And so, yeah, I'm just, right now I'm rocking here at the mall. I met a couple of people, man. And yeah, life is good, man. Life is good. But before we get started,
we say hello.
You say what, Noble?
Tell your mom we say hello.
Yeah. You know it. Can we get our Morse American prayer again, Noble Malik, if you don't mind, my brother?
Absolutely. Allah, Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, my salvation, by night and by day, through his holy prophet, Drew Ali, our man, Shaykh Salam Alakim, our Islamism. Peace.
Peace. Man, today, even though it's Saturday, it's supposed to be our history and civics day. But a lot of times, as a teacher, as a student myself, sometimes it's just good to have that good conversation to see how everyone's feeling and just kind of, throw things out there, to see if we have anything that need to be answered on a life basis. Because a lot of times, we get so caught up in the science and we just forget to have a little quick conversation on how we feel and X, Y, Z and ponder on it and move on. Islam.
Just the basics. Being in the community, being part of what's going on.
See, Malik, and that's exactly what I wanted to talk about today, man, is being in the community. And that's exactly what this science is all about with us, man. It's about being in the community and finding what you love and keep working it, man, and keep working it and find your tribe, There's nothing wrong with putting that same type of consistency, putting that same type of work in and finding brothers and sisters that operate on your same frequency. It's nothing wrong with that. And that's what I wanted to talk about today as I was driving along with my mother, man, and the conversations that I have with different nationalities on subjects. It just be amazing and how, I don't like to say our own people, but I'll say it like that, melanated brothers and sisters, we don't take the how can I say, the same type of effort to know who we are historically and spiritually, and we put the same effort in Jesus per se. And when I'm saying that, I'm not disrespecting Jesus. What I'm saying is, think of the psychosis of this, y'all. If I love a certain particular figure for amount of days, etc., watch this because I'm going somewhere with it. How can I give up on that a certain time out the month and believe in another figure? Y'all following me?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So this is the whole conversation.
Like team, right?
Huh?
It's like how people be fans of sports teams.
And it was so funny how, because I'm talking to my Christian people here, I'm live. I got a couple of people around, and she was like, "But it makes so much sense." I say, we can't let religion separate us when we were not willing to have biblical studies and historical studies. And this is a European I just met that been all over my page, and it's just beautiful. The connection. It was like, you're not dissing nothing. And I tell all my people, my religious people, I say we can't say something else is pagan if we say we Christian and Christian believe in all religions. I mean, in all paganism, far as Easter, far as Christmas, far as all those things that was left in the Bible to convert certain individuals when they was doing certain things, and they say, well, if we're going to rock with it, you got to give us some of the things that we like. We know this, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and it's not coming from no perspective of telling nobody what's that they're a bad person. That's not what we're saying when we're in this teaching aspect, because righteousness is for everyone. But like today is an educational moment, and we use Saturdays for education, biblical studies, or whatever, and dialogue. And this is why I have these conversations, because we want our brothers and sisters and our young kids to use their brains. We have to be figuring out why the young kids are not connected to certain things. This is these the questions and the influence that I have on young people. And I keep getting the same thing. They say, well, they don't teach like you. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? They was like, well, they don't teach us history. They don't tell us that we're good. They don't show us none of the things how we can be better. It's all you're bad and this is not and the other. And it started to resonate, and I get it. And here I'm talking to other people that's not melanated, and my mother, that's my mom and my dad. They like, the kids don't want to hear that. I mean, think about it. If I had a young man in high school, or Malik, you had a young man or a young daughter in middle school and things, I wouldn't force my child to go to church today. I mean, and that's the things that we're talking about of burning houses. Do we continue to deal with burning houses, or do we start being open to have these conversations with our mothers and our fathers and our sisters and preachers and all those people if they say they profess? Because something's been getting ready to happen, y'all. And I'm telling you, it's a shift of energy. It's a shift of what's been true and what's been false, and who been holding on to things. Man, it's so much free information out here that's going to make a lot of our so-called people look real stupid. And I just wanted to open that conversation with y'all. I open up a dialogue like this for y'all, because I said something about this a long time ago. And remember, I told y'all how when you start talking too much, like with podcasts, people start telling on themselves. So remember, I told y'all, when religious people call themselves black, they have no client and lawyer confidentiality. Remember, I told y'all that?
Yep.
Y'all remember that, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, so if that's the case, why do you think after all these years of all this stuff happening in the communities and all these things, why don't you think the church has really never made a step? Man, I see something. I see something that just really persecuted a lot of our brothers and sisters when we participate with things. Remember, we talk about the federal funding. It's gonna all start coming to a light and seeing how things really happen in the world where we played ourselves, when everybody playing this blame game. And I say it's gonna go back to our people. It's gonna go back to telling the truth. It's gonna go back to how can I say it? I can't say it like this, man, but I have to, Nobles, who would say, okay, well, telling the truth is not important, and the salary is way more important. Your ass is toast. Did you hear what I just said?
Yeah, that's great.
And I mean, and I'm saying it with love. I'm saying, but why? It's almost like if I want to prove a case, right? If I want to build a case against Noble Malik, well, now I ain't gonna use say his name, or say Noble Bach Boom, whatever, or Noble Tom Dick Harry. What I have to do is get all the evidence to prove that you a effing liar. And what's has happened now? You done hung yourself, because all the evidence can be proven that you're an effing liar. So were you sincere or sincerely wrong? And like I said, I feel sorry for a lot of our brothers and sisters that bit that apple. I feel sorry for a lot of my brothers and sisters that's under those so-called cloths that you have potentates and things over. I feel sorry for my brothers and sisters. I really do.
Lie to their own
You know,
people.
and it ain't no disrespect. It ain't no disrespect to no one, because see, we thought that was something special, but it ain't nothing special. Watch, I'm telling you, what it shows you is it's just like if I want to say who all got the fucking plague, excuse me, and I can say these people got all the plague willingly. What? So when it comes down to the trumpet, it ain't got nothing to do with you. It got to do with those that misled, those that under a sudden oath that won't tell the truth. That's what that's all about. But this ain't got nothing to do with you. I'm telling people, it ain't nothing to be afraid about. It ain't nothing no new word. It ain't nothing to be afraid about. Those that have done those things knowingly, and willingly. It's for them, and it's over. That's what you remember. The Bible says, "Woe to you, lying preachers that scatter my flock." I'm not here saying nothing that's not prophetic. If everybody say they believe in the scripture says this is the time. What when they say the end times or a new dispensation, it ain't the end of the world. Apocalypse ain't the end of the world. It's the end of a way of people was living, y'all. A new beginning. What of this? The truth. That's what the internet done. Look how information is so easy, and then look how easy the person can hangman themselves. People don't know what's going on, man. Pay attention, brothers and sisters, and that's what I really wanted to say today. Pay attention to the vibration of everything. Pay attention to the frequency, the bells. Once I started showing y'all so much stuff about the bells and why the bells was took, frequency, vibration. Why they don't want to talk about this? And at the BBT, we talk about all the esotericness, all the history and the metaphysics of the Bible, because it's frequency. It's a gathering of people. When two or more gather, there I am. So it's frequency that certain bowls on. It's frequency that certain bells on. This is it's prophetic. This is prophetic. I'm telling y'all, man, and we have to start seeing symbology and what's really going on in the world in the shift. It's the shift happening, brothers and sisters, and we should be proud of what we're doing, because why? Everything can be proven. Everything can be proven now. Remember, we didn't have it so easy right there where you can jump on it on something Noble Malik's and Nobles and say, let me challenge something. You know?
Yep.
So that's just where I'm at with it right now, man. And I just challenge everybody, man, to continue studying. I give honor to all y'all brothers, man, especially Noble Moso for being dedicated to Friday. I give honor to y'all, man, Malik for being dedicated to work out. Everybody that take the time out their days to do StreamYard and do things as a team. I mean, doing the right thing takes a little bit more time, but I think it's a beautiful thing that we're doing, man. And I just wanted to give honor to the BBT today, man, and just touch on some real things that was happening in my life today as I'm, back home and seeing all my, high school friends here. I'm walking through the mall. A young lady walked up to me like, "Career, you ain't tell nobody you was home." She's like, "You'll come to my church and I'm gonna tell my pastor you here because they need to hear you." These are type of conversations that I have. I don't have time to be worrying about no misnomer white man or what they doing to Moors. They ain't doing nothing to me. They ain't doing nothing to my nobles. We honorable. What we trying to do is resurrect these teachings and see where our people at and show the togetherness. And that's just where I'm at with this, man. Like we have to show, we have to be seen. But it's a good day, man. And that's I said I didn't want to be too long today. I don't know if anybody had anything. I just wanted to jump on here and give glory and hear my brother's voice real fast. Go ahead, Noble.
So you remember when you was telling me we was talking about the like the Cub Scouts, right? They have they have like levels, right? And
yeah.
So do Masons have Freemasons have that that group for the kids, under 18. What's that thing called? What's their group called again?
You say the thing that the Masons have, or like the junior Masons?
Yes.
Or in fraternities, like in Flint,
so
they had like.
I met one last night.
You met a what?
Went through the junior Masonic stuff, right? But he said he didn't go through with it because he didn't like the hiding, right? So he went through all the whole junior program. This is a dude I work with. He's from I think he's from San Jose, Albion too. So we was talking. He was like, yeah. He said, you were. Said, no, I'm not a. He asked me, was I'm a Muslim? I said, no, I'm a Muslim, but I'm a Moorish American. He was like, oh, okay. And then because he saw my symbol, our temple logo on my phone, and that's what he asked me. And then I was like, nah. I said, the things that Masons can't talk about, I could talk about. They swore secrecy. It's sacred to me, but I could talk about everything they can't talk about. He was like, oh. He said, because I went through I forgot the thing, but the ranks before they become an adult, like the junior Mason. And he said, yeah, but I didn't go through with it after that because I didn't like that, taking no oath and hiding stuff. This is what he told me.
Yeah,
I
I'm
was
telling you.
like, ooh,
Yep. Because a lot of times, man, he been watching you for a long time, man. It just be facts. Like certain people, especially that's different nationalities that see light,
uh-huh.
they that's when I say when I be saying shedding the light out, I don't say it in a derogatory meaning. Shedding the light out in the context of the science is when somebody that come, they done seen your spirit, they done people, they come and identify themselves. It's almost like a SOS. It's almost like when Masons where they when they have they skirt with all the side of symbols, that's for them to allow to do business with the merchants, which is us. You know, when they take an oath, that allow them to do trades and things. You know what I mean? That's
Right.
allow them to know different codes and when they travel to know what certain people they can reach out to and things. See, it's more than what these people be talking about on the internet. The internet is really not even real. You know, none of that stuff on
Right.
the internet about masonry is real. None of it.
Nope.
I say 0.0000000 of anything about masonry and Illuminati on the internet is all fake.
Yeah,
It's
you
all
know, I got
propaganda. Why? It's for confusion. When you meet
yeah,
people in real life, Noble Malik, like we be saying, it's certain things that they're gonna know. It's certain things that they don't want people to know. And certain individuals, certain how can I say nationalities, when they come together and understand the power of all the Egyptian symbols and all the signs of the science. Hell, the Pope got the damn beetle on his garb. When they
yeah,
understand all that science, they don't want it to be shared.
yeah. It's about unity. That's what it's all about. The science is about unity.
Yes,
And
it
that's what
is.
we and he was talking about. And I was like, yeah, this is all about unity. It's not about separation. It's about bringing people together. He was like,
Right.
that's why I didn't want to, that's why I didn't go through with it, because it just seemed like, you know, you basically separating people to say, I'm holding this over you because I know this, but I'm not telling you. He was excited to talk to me. So we had a good conversation last night.
Yes, and they will be. Man, and look, that's why the prophet, man, once he started doing his travels, he was like, man, no disrespect when I use certain vernacular. What he said, the European and Albion is going to be here to show you how to build a government. Now, if we use that as an example, that's a good example. He didn't use it in the context of a bad example. He used it in the context
Nope.
as a good example. So what we be trying to tell
Yeah.
people, the concept of brotherhood is ordained. Like, and when you're dealing with good brotherhood, that's universal. Hell, I don't care if you were Al Islam. When you travel out of the so-called country, you're gonna see different nationalities. That's Islam.
Right.
Me and Mosa were just having a conversation in book club about when people be getting caught up, talk about the Moors killed the Africans and all that in Africa. I said, man, that was Leopold using the fez and as part of his army uniform. I said, if a person came from Belgium to kill you and got all the money and things, you either gonna die or work with it. The same way they assassinated Patrice Lumumba. The Belgians did that.
Yeah.
The same way Hitler regime wore the fez and was studying Islam. So when people just be trying to make up things, we have to always stand strong and say that's not valid. And that was the conversation, and that's the history that they know, Noble Malik. That's why subjugation is so powerful, and the misunderstanding from our young people about slavery is, and when we talked about that in Book Club Friday, Malik, like the whole
Yeah.
educational aspect, what Trump is doing, everybody crying. We talk about Trump want to end Black history and all that. And I say, okay, well, look at it on a good perspective, Malik. It wasn't teaching our kids nothing. I say
No.
elementary and public school is only good for 1, 2 ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. Everything else is for your set. It's for your spiritual house to teach. And so that's what's happening. And it's going back to culture. It's going back to community. The only thing we own is the church and our schools and the right educators like you and I, as us, this brotherhood. That's what it's going back to. Like, where are your brothers? Where your mentor? You talk about your kid go to a church and they don't have no mentor, or they looking for some. They going to the Boys and Girls Club for big brothers. That's where the funding is all going to go back to, and ain't nobody in position to do it. I'm telling you, that's where I saw the blueprint, man. It's going back to that. What's
We are.
happening? Nobody in position to do it. You know.
We are.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like I tell everybody all day, man, about on paper and our paperwork. I keep saying it. On paper, we polished and we clean. And that was our whole focus. When you polish, you clean, you start understanding. You have something to start cleaning up, Malik. Like when we put a product out, we can't be worried about, okay, how perfect it is before we put it out. We put the product out. Now we can start perfecting on the product and adding value to the product. we got a product out. Now we know how the product run. Now we know how to market the product a little bit more than what we done. So putting things together it's not gonna be so hard for us. And I hope it resonates to anybody that's listening to us, man. No matter what your spirituality is, no matter what your race is, no matter what you think you believe in, we should all have a common denominator. I will hope we should all have a common denominator and be able to come to the table and support something and see what happens. So I'm at a good space with what we're doing, man. I just hope more people come in and start asking questions, and I hope more of my brothers and sisters get a little bit more comfortable getting behind the camera and want to have dialogue and and ask me specific topics to talk about as we go forward. Because I know me and Malik, me and you talked about this. A lot of times as a teacher, Sunday I'm a minister as well. I love Sunday because that's divine time, but I love for inspiration to come from my brothers. And so I hope, and I hope our spirit continue to align to where brothers get more comfortable, coming up with topics that, that a lot of, how can I say, not just things that I have, but the things that y'all have, and not just the things that we have, but the things that other people have around us. So we can kind of bring them in, because a lot of people I'm figuring out, y'all, as I'm walking through these malls and talking to these people, a lot of people are introverts and extroverts. Man, you remember everything we have on is like a Batman symbol.
Yep.
And that's why I just did this little synopsis today. I got cards in my hand. I'm walking and I'm seeing how many people stopping me. I done got like 7 stops already. I done gave away 15 cards. That's why I got my camera on. So this is what I wanted to, and I ain't got not one so-called African American. Do you hear me, Malik?
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. The power of what
Not
we doing. I know. I said, man,
not
these people
one.
don't know me from Adam. Here this dude done ran up on me, brother, your jacket. He like you this not the other. Asking me questions, and just like you did, we hear like, wow, I never heard it like that. I said, one, because you're around light. Light always gonna be a beautiful conversation. Light is always gonna spark something. Gonna brighten you up. Gonna give you a feeling. Gonna give you a certain vibration. That's what I'm saying. Once you start researching them bells, that's what this is all connect, man. It's a shift getting ready to happen. I'm telling you, man. I was watching old movies, man, where they took the bells and how the bells were keeping everything in alignment. I just had a divine revelation about bells, man, and the frequency and it tied in to where my dimension was like, it ain't nothing for us to be afraid of. It ain't enough for nobody
Right.
that understand that the heavens and the earth and understand that connection. It ain't nothing for nobody to be afraid for when the balance go back, when the bells ring, when the trumpet ring, when they try to make you scared like that's the end of times. That ain't no end times. Man, why you think all the bells going? Don't y'all remember back in the day the bells used to ring every hour on the hour in all churches? Y'all remember that? The tower?
Yeah. The town. Yeah.
Where they at
The church
now?
bells.
Where they at
They
now?
nowhere. They all.
Ain't nobody never thought about
They
that?
destroyed all of them. Actually, they destroyed all of them.
Man, I got this book, Malik. I got back going to the Goodwill on every other Saturday when it's quarter day for seniors, and I done stumbled on a damn gold mine. I done stumbled on the book. It was called The Ancientness of Bells that they stole that was hidden in America. You know, I'm talking about huge
Mm-hmm.
bells. I'm talking about, and then they got a whole metaphysical, about like 3 metaphysical chapters about the frequency and how things is off, and the whole science of those bells and what they found out about those bells. Even
Mm.
Haiti, like it's so much stuff that's connect. Man, when you start connecting words and history, you start pulling stuff out. You be like, wait a damn minute, it ain't nothing for you to be afraid of. I promise you, y'all. Just like just like the Sumerian. Like when people talk about the New Testament, when people talk about the Anunnaki. But when you start understanding, like not no alien Anunnaki, when you start connecting Sumerian and all that, you will start seeing biblical texts, connecting to that, to the Epic of Gilgamesh and to all things at the flood story in the Bible. You will start seeing things, but they try to reverse things to keep you away from things. That's gonna start having you asking questions, is what I'm saying. It's frequency, man.
Yep.
I'm telling you, and every scholar, every educator know exactly what I'm saying. Because why they want to make it so emphasis on some Anunnaki is some stupid alien? Why, man, bro?
To throw you on the bread trails.
Man, even all that fire burn, Man, something I learned in Arizona, man, when they talk about brush fires, and something I learned about oceans and things and certain minerals when they dry up, it'd be worth billions and billions of dollars that could control electricity, that could control like electric cars, all type of stuff. You know that, right?
Wait, say that again. You said there's a what that
It's
controls?
a certain mineral like where in salt water. Do your research where the fire done burned down at. When you do a little Google research, you might stumble upon some information of how that water and it will dry it up is worth billions of dollars. Some of the stuff that they use for electric that can control electric cars, like millions of electric cars in that certain area and that certain demographic. Man, the stuff the history, it just be there. And I tell us, man, it ain't nothing for nobody to be afraid of. It ain't because it's right in your face. What? Prophecy. It has to be explained in the right context. That's why things will be taken out, y'all. And it reversed, as we always say, spookism. It'll reverse to say the Anunnaki is some alien. Knowing we don't believe in aliens. Knowing that's a people. So it's a people. What type? We have to connect it. They'll say when you start doing a good research, they'll say scholars don't agree, or they'll say it don't relate to this, but it could be this and all that. Those are the connections. Those are the connection when you start looking at language. Well, I tell a person that everything has to come from a place, nobles. We can end it like that. What you mean? Biblical history or what we call it, it have to come from a place. I don't care if it comes from the coffin text, from Egyptian history, all of it comes from a place when you start connecting names and symbology and linguistics. So if anybody want to say, let's just use it like this, noble, from a lower perspective of understanding, well, the Christian stuff is fake, but it comes from a perspective. You just don't have an understanding. If that's the case, it's all fake. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I want us to have a clear mind,
Yeah, nothing new under the sun.
I want us to have a clear mind with everything we do, with biblical history, with religious history, and just let's start having asking questions and dialogue. Like we said, when we on here giving specific topics, anything that anybody want to have a conversation about, or anything that they may have heard, what's more science or being some sovereign citizen, please ask those questions, put them in our suggestion box, so we can answer those questions at the right time. Because that's why I just wanted to have today, just to talk to everybody and say, and give everybody opportunity to ask questions, and we want to answer those questions, in a right perspective. So, Islam family.
Gratitude.
Islam. Gratitude and love.
Gratitude. That's all I got, man. I got some good prepared for Sunday, man. But gratitude, y'all.
Peace to the family out there in Michigan.
You know it. Peace to the family.
Yeah.
Peace to the family, man. Love y'all, Tribe.
Most I love you too, Sheik.
Peace and love.
And with that, peace and love.
Peace and love.
Take us out, Nose. I'm a spirit speaking, truth seeking, heart seeking. I saw Barclay rocking this morning. Barclay was rocking. Like, I'm a spirit speaking, truth seeking.
Working 9 to 5.
How I make this masterpiece. Peace, living like a God. I lay at night. I rest in peace.
I want love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice at least. I need it for all my peace because it just isn't me. Unbuckle the shackles up off your mind, you just been released. How can I get you to save yourself if I can't get you to think? If wisdom is water, the water is well, but how can I get you to drink? We've been hoodwinked and blinded, kinda hard to get you to sleep. Cause I am not this world and I can't offer you clear